Good afternoon, dear students. Today's class we are going to learn about the Mughal Empire. See, the Mughal Empire, it was one of the popular dynasty was ruled in Delhi. So among all Delhi sultans, so the Mughal Empire so were a prominent rulers because of you all of you knows that you may guess why they are a very special in the Delhi Sultans. Now let us discuss about the Mughal empires. See, ruling as a large, ruling as large a territory as the Indian subcontinent with such a diversity of people and cultures was an extremely difficult task for any ruler. Are getting dear students? So, ruling as large a territory as the Indian subcontinent with such a diversity of people and cultures. We all of still India it is one of the diverse country where we can see the different the people, culture and all. See actually it was an extremely difficult task for any ruler to accomplish especially in the Middle Ages also. Quite in contrast to their predecessors, the Mughals created an empire and accomplished what had hitherto seemed possible for only short periods of time. From the later half of the 16th century, they expanded their kingdom. Getting now? So, from the later half of the 16th century, they expanded their kingdom from Agra and Delhi. They were expanded their kingdom from Agra and Delhi. So, until in the 17th century, until in the 17th century, they controlled nearly all of the subcontinent. The maximum of the subcontinent it was under the control of it was the it was under the control of Delhi Sultans. See, they imposed structures of administration and ideas of governance that outlasted their rule. So, leaving a political legacy that succeeding rulers of the subcontinent could not ignore. Today, maybe the Prime Minister of India, if is addressing the nation of Independence Day from the all of you knows that from where from the Red Fort of Delhi. So the Prime Minister of India addresses the nation of Independence Day from the ramparts of the Red Fort in Delhi. So the residence of the Mughal emperors. So the Red Fort is there, no, which is in Delhi. So that is actually the residence of the Mughal emperors. Understood now? Now let us discuss who were Mughals. Who were Mughals? Who were the Mughals? See, the Mughals were descendants of two great lineages of rulers. From their mother's side, they were actually descendants of Genghis Khan. Understood? From their mother's side. So ತಾಯಿ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ so Genghis Khan was died in 1227 was the ruler of the Mongol China and Central Asia. Understood now? So There are lineages of the rulers from their mother's side. They were descendants of Genghis Khan, who was died in 1227, was the ruler of Mongol tribes and who was controlled China and Central Asia. From their father's side, from their father's side, they were the successors of Taimur, was died in 1404. Understood? From the father's side, the Mughals were the rulers of, especially the successors of Taimur, was died in 1404, was the ruler of Iran, Iraq, and modern day Turkey. So, however, Mughals did not like to call to be Mughals did not like to be called Mughal or Mongol. ಸೊ ದ ಮೂಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಮುಘಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದದ ಮೂಲ ಮಂಗೋಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ. See, dear students, actually the Mughal or Mongol. So actually why they did not like to be called Mughal or Mongol? So there was a reason why, because so this was because of Genghis Khan's memory. This was because of Genghis Khan's memory. So what happened? Because we all of you knows that Genghis Khan memories, it was associated with the massacre of innumerable people. Many of the people he was actually killed. And also it was linked with the Uzbeks. So they are actually Uzbeks, they were actually the Mongol, the other Mongol groups were the competitors. On the other hand, the Mughals were proud of their Timurid ancestry, not least of all because their great ancestor had captured Delhi in 1398. So they celebrated their genealogy pictorially, each ruler getting a picture made of Taimur and himself. So the entire, like a group photograph, which are given in the second figure, which is in page number 46, you see that. So the entire Mughal rulers, they were there, including the Taimur. So it was one of the miniature painting which was dated 1702 to 1712. Understood? 1702 to 1712. So it is actually the miniature painting of Taimur. So here is descendants and the Mughal emperors. The picture, the painting shows that Taimur and his descendants and the Mughal emperors. So Taimur is in the center. So look at the picture. So he was seated in the center, and on his right is his son Miran Shah. Right side was sitting, no. So is the son Taimur's son Miran Shah. So was the first Mughal emperor Babur's great great grandfather, not grandfather. So Miran Shah, he was actually the Babur's great great grandfather. And then Abu Sayyid. So Abu Sayyid, he was Babur's grandfather, and to the left of Taimur or Sultan Muhammad Mirza was Babur's great grandfather, and the Umar Sheikh was the Babur's father. So the Babur father was Umar Sheikh, and the other, the Mughal emperors. So afterwards, Babur, Akbar, and Taimur's right, and Babur, Akbar, and also Shah Jahan are the third, and fourth and fifth, the individuals on Taimur's right and on his left. So in the same order are Humayun, Jahangir, and Aurangzeb. So the entire the Mughal emperors, I mean the family members, so completely painted and shown in this picture, including the time. Now let us discuss about the Mughal military campaigns. The Mughal military campaigns. See, Babur was the first Mughal emperor who was ruled Delhi between 1526 to 1530. So actually, he was succeeded to the throne of Fargana in 1494. In 1494, when he was only 12 years old. So Babur, he was in a young age, when he was in small age. When he was in 12 years old only, so he was so succeeded to the throne of so Fargana in 1494. And afterwards, he was forced to leave his ancestral throne due to the invasion of another Mongol group, that the Uzbeks. So after that years, he was wandering and he seized Kabul in 1504. He was wandered and seized Kabul in 1504, and afterwards, so he was captured. I mean, he was defeated the Sultan of Delhi, Ibrahim Lodi at Panipat, and captured Delhi and Agra. Getting dear students. So Babur, he was captured Kabul in 1504, and afterwards in 1526 he defeated the Ibrahim Lodi, who was the Sultan of Delhi at Panipat, and he was captured Delhi and Agra. So dear students, the next page there is the table which shows that the completely major campaigns of the Mughal and their complete details. So that we are going to learn, and also dear students, the relationship between Mughal and the other in our subcontinent, especially the relationship between Mughals and Ahoms, and the relationship between the Mughals and the Sikhs, and the relationship between Mughals and Mewar or Merwar. So about all this we are going to learn in a different chapter. So now let us discuss about uh, the major campaigns and events of the Mughal emperors. The major campaigns and events of the Mughal emperors. See, the major campaigns and events, here we all of knows that the founder or the first Mughal emperor was Babur. Was ruled Delhi between 1526 to 15. See, he was ruled only a few years, but even though he was one of the powerful king. So in 1526, in 1526, so he was defeated Ibrahim Lodi at Panipat. Getting now? So Ibrahim Lodi at Panipat and his Afghan supporters. So all they were defeated at Panipat in 1526. And afterwards, in 1527, in 1527, so in 1527, so he was defeated Rana Sanga. Babur was defeated Rana Sanga. Okay. So Rana Sanga actually he was a Rajput ruler and he was a Rajput ruler. Here Rana Sanga and its allies, so they were defeated by Babur in 1527 at Kanauha. So at Kanauha, so they were defeated. And afterwards, in 1528, in 1528, so Babur was defeated the Rajputs at Chanderi. So in 1528, Rajputs at Chanderi they were defeated by Babur. So after that, he was established control over Agra and Delhi before his death. So Babur, before his death, he was established his control over Agra and Delhi. Now let us see about Humayun. So please keep it in your mind. So Babur was the founder of Mughal dynasty. He was defeated Ibrahim Lodi with the supporters of the Afghans in 1526 at Panipat, and he was controlled, captured Agra and Delhi. And also in 1527 he was defeated Rana Sanga and his allies was a Rajput ruler at Kannauj. And afterwards in 1528, so the Rajputs at Chanderi, the Rajputs they were defeated at Chanderi. Then after 1528 only, so he was established his control over Agra and Delhi. Now let us discuss about Humayun. See, Humayun actually he was ruled twice in 1532 40, 1540, and again, so there was a gap about 5 years, so he was ruled again 1555 to 56. Getting these students? So Humayun, he was actually son of Babur. So he was divided his inheritance according to the will of his father. His brothers were each given a province. His brothers were each given a province. See, the ambitions of his brother Mirza Kamran weakened Humayun's cause against Afghan competitors. So what happened? Sher Khan defeated Humayun at Chausa in 1539 and Kanauj 1540 and forcing him to flee to Iran. So when Humayun he was defeated continuously in 1539 and in 1540 by Sher Khan. By Sher Khan, so Humayun was forcing Humayun was forced by Sher Khan to flee to Iran. Then afterwards, in Iran, Humayun received help from the Safavid Shah and was recaptured Delhi in 1555, but died the next year after an accident in this building. Understood now. So afterwards, what happened? So with the help of Safavid Shah was the ruler of Iran. So once again, he recaptured Delhi in 1555, but died the next year after an accident in this building. Then afterwards, dear students, the son of Humayun was the famous king in this dynasty, Akbar. Akbar, when he was in 13 years old, he became an emperor. So his reign can be divided into three periods. His reign can be divided into three periods. The first period, that is 1556 to 1556 to 1585. 1585. So this one, its reign is divided into three periods. So in this 1556 to 1570, Akbar became independent of the regent Bayram Khan and other members of his domestic staff. So Akbar became independent of the regent Bayram Khan and other members of this domestic of his domestic staff. So military campaigns were launched against the Suris and other Afghans, against the neighboring kingdoms of Malwa and Gondwana, and to suppress the revolt of his half brother Mirza Hakim and the Uzbeks. So in 1568, the Sisodia capital of Chittur, it was seized, and in 1569 Ranthambore was captured. Understood now? So in 1568 the Sisodia capital of Chittur was seized, and in 1569 Ranthambore captured. And the second period, it is about 1570 to 1585. 1570 to 1585. See, here in this period, military campaigns in Gujarat were followed by campaigns in the east in Bihar and Bengal and also Orissa. So these campaigns were complicated by the 1579-1580 revolt in support of Mirza Hakim. Understood now? So the military campaigns in Gujarat were followed by campaigns in the east, in Bihar and Bengal and Odisha. And these campaigns were complicated by the 1579-1580 revolt in support of Mirza Hakim. And the third period, it is about 1585 to 1605. 1585 to 1605. See, the expansion of Akbar's empire. Campaigns were launched in the northwest. Kandahar was seized from the Safavids. Kashmir was annexed, and also Kabul after the death of Mirza Hakim. Campaigns in the Deccan started, and Berar, Khandesh and parts of Ahmednagar were annexed. So in the last years of his reign, Akbar was distracted by the rebellion of Prince Salim and the future emperor, the Jahangir. So it is about the Akbar, and the next class we are going to learn about Jahangir, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. Thank you. Have a nice day.